and we are still in the midst of the Halloween takeover. So in the spirit of Halloween, we thought it'd be fun to rank the top 10 most iconic horror characters. Here we go. Before we get into today's episode, make sure that you subscribe and hit the bell notification so you're aware every time we post a new episode, trying to figure out what got it right. Coming in at number 10, it is the godfather of horror himself, Stephen King.
Well, not exactly the person you think of when you think horror icons in the traditional sense. The contributions and characters that have come from the mind of Stephen King have redefined horror.
At number 9, we have our first classic monster on the list. We are talking about Frankenstein.
Oh, it's alive! It's alive! It's alive! It's alive!
The character made famous by the Anne Rice book of the same name has been a staple on many Monster Mount Rushmores. Frankenstein, or Frankenstein's monster, has seen a wide array of adaptations throughout the years, but to this day remains one of the most recognizable of the Hollywood monsters.
Wanna play a game? At number 8, it's the puzzle master himself, Jigsaw.
The master manipulator who took the Would You Rather game a bit too far lands on this list simply for the mind-bending, social, experimental, twisted way his torture makes you think about what you would do in that situation. The Saw series seemed to go on forever, with every year releasing a new adaptation. Come to think of it, are we in Saw 2020?
As a child of the 80s and 90s, I had a My Buddy, and I remember the torture and torment that came from realizing that My Buddy was responsible for the next entry on our list. At number 7, free hugs, Chucky.
Who can resist hugs from everyone's favorite good guy doll? Chucky, or Charles Lee Ray, has been terrorizing people young and old since his first appearance in 1988's Child's Play, and has been seen in multiple sequels and adaptations as recently as 2019.
You're not you when you're hungry. We're talking about the flesh eater himself, Hannibal Lecter. Hello, Clarice.
Silence of the Lambs is one of the creepiest movies, and after almost 30 years, it still holds weight. With the rise of interest in serial killers and countless murder documentaries on Netflix making their way into pop culture and everyday life, one could almost say that Hannibal is a trailblazer.
At number 5, the reason why to this day I get petrified going to the circus and the fear of clowns, Pennywise.
Whether you're a purist like myself and you are Team Tim Curry, or you prefer the modern twist of Bill Skarsgård, I think we can all agree that regardless of the man under the clown makeup, Pennywise is one of the scariest on the list, who quite literally feeds off of fears. How's that for a fear paradox?
At number 4, no Halloween list would be complete without Mr. Halloween himself, Michael Myers.
Jamie Lee Curtis's brother Michael has been terrorizing all Hallows Eve ever since the release of Halloween in 1978. The adaptations, remix, and laundry list of sequels has put a bit of a damper on the man in the mask. However, Michael Myers still remains one of the most popular and recognizable horror icons of all time.
At number 3, it's the OG of the classic monster crew. We are talking about Dracula.
Remember when vampires became cool again about a decade ago? No, not this guy. Definitely not this guy. That's more like it. Vampire lore has been around for ages. We've seen vampires on the silver screen practically since the invention of the silver screen. And the king of the vampires, and arguably the most badass of the Hollywood monsters, is without a shadow of a doubt, Dracula. This night dweller has changed with time, but still managed to get your blood pumping. Before he sucks it, of course.
At number 2, we are talking about the icon that made camping that much more scary, And summer camp, even scarier. So unless you're on the Crystal Lake track team, you probably already know. Number 2, Jason Voorhees.
The son of camp cook Pamela Voorhees at Crystal Lake, who in the 1950s drowned, and according to his mother, was due to the negligence of camp counselors. And so she sought out revenge. In the original Friday the 13th from 1980, the story's more about Miss Voorhees, who, spoiler alert, was ultimately killed while seeking revenge. Only for Jason to appear to seek out his own brand of justice. From there, we've seen this franchise grow beyond measure, changing the way you look at a hockey goalie mask forever. And every Friday the 13th, we're all spooked by the notion that a machete-wielding horror icon might be lurking nearby.
It was almost impossible to come up with a top 10 list of horror icons. I love Halloween. So before we get to our number 1 entry, let's take a look at some of our honorable mentions. When I grew up on a street called West Elm Avenue. That alone made me petrified of the street that I lived on. Because at number 1, the man of your dreams himself, Freddy Krueger.
Why anyone still lives on Elm Street is beyond me. Freddy Krueger was a serial killer whose victim of choice was children from Ohio. Because of course, he's from Ohio. And after evading prison, he was burned to death by his victims' parents. Even after death, Freddy haunted his victims in their dreams with real-life consequences. The Invader of Dreams franchise, like many on the list, has grown beyond the original concept. And though the fear factor has diminished some due to the campy, often satirical portrayal of the character we've seen in modern times, Freddy will always be our number 1 horror icon and the keeper of our nightmares. Besides, Freddy has ultimately answered the age-old question, if you die in your dreams, you die in real life. So that's our list. Let us know in the comments if you think we got it right or what your top 10 would look like. As always, make sure to smash the subscribe button, hit the bell notification so you can keep up with all the great content that we're putting out. And until next time, we'll see you in your dreams.
If you like what you're seeing and want to get involved, help us spread the word by subscribing to our channel and liking and sharing this video. Visit our website for more information.